number of people and we can start the session. So once again, a very warm welcome to everyone for this is our third session in Manav Vyavhar Darshan English translation reading session. The last two sessions were on Vikalp, the alternative. Uh, which we basically it kind of set the context of Madhyas Darshan, that it is the alternative of the erstwhile thinking that came about in the human history. So this is the positioning of this darshan, and it takes some effort to actually contextualize what does it mean to be uh, seeing this darshan as the alternative. Is this trying to undermine the prior human efforts, and how does it see itself? Is it basically trying to um, so what we are seeing that is that it is basically seeing that whole human history as a continuum, uh, and this discovery of Madhyas Darshan has been as a part of that. And from this reference point, it is looking at the prior thoughts like idealism and materialism. So from the reference of Madhyas Darshan, it is looking at the prior thoughts. And there it is actually finding that the this darshan is not in continuation of the prior thoughts. Right? It is basically doesn't build on those references. Having said that, it also is not without a sense of gratitude uh, towards their contribution in human advancement. So it is actually acknowledging that as well, right? So we heard about the alternative, those some about 20 points that Shalini Didi talked about. Uh, so now today we are actually going to be reading the translation of Madhyas Darshan ke Mool Tattva, or the basic elements of Madhyas Darshan. So this will be done by Shevia Pathak. Shevia is, I have known her as a daughter of Pathak ji and Sunita Pathak ji. They are very good friends of ours, and I've known Shevya as a young girl, but now I see that she has really grown up and in presents the things in her own right with her own understanding and in her own standing, which is something which makes us all very proud. So, so if you look at this as a very high level presentation of what all is there to come in in the chapters of Manav Vyavhar Darshan. So in this sense, it is a very um, to each of the point is kind of giving a nutshell of what are the things that are coming in the future in the coming chapters. So, so it is to familiarize, in a sense, with the terminology and all the things. So be patient with, especially those who are actually listening to this darshan for the first time, that whether you would actually gain all the concepts or not. So in that sense, Shevya has a very big undertaking that she is having. So in she's going to be doing two sessions, and in these two test sessions, she will be covering these about 29-30 points that are there. So she intends to actually do some points today, building the context, and then after that, continue with her explanation, her reading in the next session as well. That will be on the Tuesday. So a very warm welcome to Shevia. And Shevia, please lead us from here.
Thank you so much, Rakesh Chachaji. I am overwhelmed to be present here and to be given this opportunity. I never thought that I will get to explain Madhyastha Darshan in English. Although since childhood I have been taught in English, um, we are a Hindi speaking family, and all the family members of my family, they speak in Hindi, but English. But my school education has been in English, and I'm glad that I could now finally do something worthwhile of whatever I have learned in my life to express in front of such great audience. Um, I Firstly, I would like to pay my oblations to Babaji and Mataji, because I never thought. I think for me, the biggest achievement in my life is that I was able to be present and live in their presence, in the presence of the divine. Uh, for me, Babaji is, for me and my family. Babaji is a divine person. He is like godly person for us, who has directed our lives, and his uh, um, because of everything that we have received from him, I've gotten this opportunity, and I hope that I am able to do justice to it. So, and I would also like to share a little bit about me. That I, from very childhood, since I was 9 months old, my parents started learning Madhyastha Darshan from Babaji. And before, first, we used to think that he was like a granddad for us. He was like a grandfather, because he always used to present himself in relation to any human being, to any person. So we used to think that he was a granddad, and my mother told me that he is the person. So we used to prostrate in front of him. And I used to think, why do we do that? And my mother told me that he is the person who will give answers to all your questions. He claims to have answers to all the questions that any human being has. And for me, that was the greatest wealth. And I was always waiting for the opportunity when I get to know the answers that Babaji wants to present in to the human world. And that is why um, I started learning Madhyastha Darshan through my parents first. And I think any amount of thankfulness and gratitude will be less. And what I see myself as a privileged person, but I think that the privilege that I have received by living with him has been more, or it is developed after I started learning Madhyastha Darshan. I got to know the actual meaning of gratitude when I actually learned Madhyastha Darshan. I could never understand that the divinity that he exhibited in himself if I had never learned Madhyastha Darshan from him. So that is why, with all humbleness, I want to tell everyone that this is not, for me, this is not just words of just some human being. For me, these are the godly, godly commands, I'd say. So now I would take this opportunity to present whatever I have learned. Um, and I would like to say that I do not state that I have learned and acquired all the knowledge. It can be my point of view as well. So maybe you may agree or agree not agree with this. And I think this will be, I would like to grab this opportunity that if you feel any kind of discrepancy or irregularity in my presentation, kindly point out that to me. And this, I think this will become the whatever I gain from this presentation, that will be uh, the best for me. So yes. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I also would like to thank all the people, especially Rakesh Chachaji. Um, for me, I am your fan. For me, you are like celebrity, because whatever work that you have done, you have recorded the sessions. Uh, you have recorded the talks with Babaji, and you have first written it in paragraph form, in the forms of conversation, and then now you have taken up the great work of translating it in English language, which is uh, very difficult work, and but you have done it with utter sincerity and discipline. So salute to you. And
On,
salute to
yeah.
everyone.
Mhm.
Ji.
Yeah, I guess you can start with the presentation.
Yes, yes, yes. Sure. So I will share my screen. Okay. Is it visible?
Not yet. Yes, now it is available.
Okay. So today we will be talking about basic elements of Madhyastha Darshan. Um, I have so when I started learning about these different points that are given here, which basically sum up the terminology that Babaji has used in explaining here. So started with the video recording of Shriram Bhaiya, who had asked, who also started learning this section of this book, Human Holistic View of Human Behavior, this book that we are reading today. And Babaji explained this word that is called Tattva, that is translated into the word elements. This word tattva is also translated into the word substance in philosophy. So Babaji explained that what is the basic substance or the basic element in existence. So whatever is true or whatever is reality in existence is the basic element of the existence. And he went on explaining that the basic reality in existence is the uh, omnipresence, the submerged, soaked, and surrounded sentient and insentient entities and units in the omnipresence. That is the basic element in existence. So, what is the meaning of submerged, soaked, and surrounding? The word duba, bhiga, and ghira. So, the submerged gives us the understanding that every unit, insentient or sentient, in existence is a system or an order in itself, and it takes part in the bigger, greater order of the universe. It it participates, which we can see here, that intrinsic are orderly with inherence and participate in universal orderliness. Every unit in existence is an order in itself, and it takes parts in the universal orderliness. That is the meaning of being submerged in the omnipresent Vyapak Brahma. And then there is the word bhiga. The bhiga word is translated into the word soaked. When we see that all the units in the existence that are the insentient and sentient units are soaked in omnipresence, that means that uh, they are energized, and they are energized in knowledge, in the form of knowledge. When we see energy and the presence of and the omnipresence in insentient units, we see it in the form of energy. And when we see omnipresence in human beings, we see it in the form of knowledge. That is what is the meaning of the submerged insentient units in the omnipresence, the Vyapak Satta. And then we are talking about surrounded, Ghera. The insentient and sentient units are surrounded in omnipresence. The meaning of being surrounded is attributes, or it points towards the niyantran, that is regularity, the santulan, that is the balance, and the niyam, that is the law in the universe. Now, the niyantran, which that is regularity, is in the form of the innate orderliness of a unit, and the santulan is in the form of what the participation of the units in the universal orderliness. So that is the basic elemental reality, or the truth, that is explained in this philosophy of Madhyastha. Now we will move forward to the first point. The first point is the proclamation. Let live and live. So the word proclamation, it actually means the statement or declaration by the realized person, the realized soul, or realized human being. So through this proclamation, or the statement, or the declaration that Babaji is giving to the entire world, entire human race, or entire human beings in this planet, he is trying to say that let live, and he is trying to give a message, let live and live. So we all have heard about this sentence, which is live and let live. And we think that he has simply reversed this sentence into let live and live. But there is fundamental truth in the way he has inverted this proposition. So when he says let live and live, he is saying that we cannot live without letting others live. There is no existence without coexistence. Without participation in the greater order of the universe, we are not in order. And existence is in the form of system and order. Existence is in the form of coexistence. That is why by letting live, we are living. Otherwise, we do not become evident of our living when we do not let live others. For example, when we are happy, it shows that we are happy when others are happy in our presence. If we are knowledgeable, then our knowledge is evident when the other person who has questions, his questions are answered through our knowledge. Otherwise, our knowledge will not be evident. When we know how to do something, that will be only evident when we do that thing. And when we are teaching someone to do something, that will only be evident when that person has learned that thing. I always felt that he is such a divine soul. Why he did not go into United Nations? Why he did not go to the most powerful person that we believe in this earth? Maybe we people believe that there are most powerful human beings in this world. Babaji was the most developed person, as he claimed in his lifetime. He was the most developed person. Then why did he not reach out to people? He reached out to the human nature by living, by letting them know their real potential. So by explaining what the potential of a human being is, he lived his life. I always remember this fact that we talk about justice, nyay. What really is justice? I have lived with Babaji, and I felt that Babaji always, whenever someone was around him, he invoked uh, the understanding of justice in that person. He said that, "Do you know justice?" The person used to say, "Yes, we know justice." "Okay, then is this justice?" The person used to agree. That is why he said that all of this is for you, to learn, understand, and if you agree, then you will follow it in your life, and if you do not agree, then the quest is going on in tradition and human race. So this is the meaning of let live and live. Also, why he reversed the line live and let live. So he says that living cannot be evident if we do not let live. That is why he reversed that. This is the proclamation given by the divine Babaji. Divya Manav. I consider him as Divya Manav. Then the second point is the wish for universal well-being. May the earth be heavenly. May humans be God. May dharma prevail. May goodness be eternal. So this, in this way, he expressed his wish, how he is letting live others, by expressing what he wants to, uh, what he wishes for the entire world, entire universe. So he says, "May the earth be heaven." So we, in human tradition, there have been we have imagined how the perfect human life would be. What would be the perfect realm to exist? And it is imagined in the form of heavens. Now we find that heaven is something that has all the sensory pleasures. Now human beings, through their power of imagination, through their creativity and their free will, they have already acquired all the sensory pleasures that can be acquired and that can be thought that we will gain in heaven. And still we are not happy. We are not always happy, because sensory pleasure give us limited happiness. It does not give us continuous happiness. When we are hungry, we get food. When we are full, we become happy. Then we look for something else. When our body is tired, we want to sleep, and then we take nap for some time, and then the nap gets completed. Then we look for something else. So what does he mean by may the earth be heaven? So here he says earth will be heavenly when humans will be godly, when humans will be God. What does he mean by may humans be God? God, God. when we talk about God, we have always thought about the good, all the good qualities that are present, which are, we say that anthropological, no, sorry, anthropomorphic. Like we see godly qualities with human context. That is all the good qualities that we see in God. Um, so he, by may humans be God, he means that the human should exhibit godly nature. What is godly nature? Godly nature is being evident about all the good qualities. Like Shalini Bhabi, my Shalini Behan, explained us in the alternative. She said, Baba had questioned, will the apt vakya, the words of the realized being will be the evidence, or the apt human being will be the evidence? So the living human being, the living tradition of the human, godly human being will be the evidence. And that is what he means by may humans be godly. Then may dharma prevail. What is the meaning of dharma? So the dharma means the answers to all the questions, with all the possible directions, with all the possible uh, explanations and all the angles. That is the meaning of dharma. Dharma is actually the answer to all the human questions. That is knowledge. So, uh, in further explanation and the further chapters of this book, dharma is the concept which actually means the innate nature of any unit that cannot be separated from it. And the innate nature of human is to be happy. The desire to be happy cannot be separated from any human being. Every human being wants to be happy. So that is why he says that may dharma prevail, may every human being be happy, and may goodness be eternal. So the Hindi translation is Nityam Yatu Shubhodayam. Shubh is the word that is translated into goodness, be eternal. Goodness, all the goodness in the nature or in the existence is the whatever we see in the four orders of the universe, be it material order, be it plant order, be it animal order, and be it human order. We see that all the three orders, that is material order, plant order, and the animal order, they are in system. Only human being has not understood its definite nature, its unchanging nature, that is dharma, which is constant, which does not fluctuate. Only constant understanding will give us constant happiness. And that is why he says, may goodness be eternal. That is the constant understanding of good and eternal principles, may, and may be eternal in the universe. So that is the second point, the wish for universal well-being. Now, third point. Through third point, he is trying to explain the realization knowledge. So so when I think all of the participants in this meeting have already read the book Introduction of Jivan Vidya, and they have heard about this word realization. So we know that there are sentient and insentient. So these words sentient and insentient can also be uh, so the synonymous words to these are also animate, inanimate, conscious, unconscious, mental, elemental. So whatever is sentient and insentient. So sentient is everything that does not have consciousness, which is not conscious. That means it is working through energy. It is energized and it is working in energy. And what is we say sentient is the conscious units in nature. So we know that the conscious units in nature are the Jivan Parmanu, that is the complete build atom, the complete constitutional atom. What is complete constitutional atom? It is the atom that is free from sharing its particles. And when it is free from all the attraction and repulsion with respect to particles, then gains the um, it gains consciousness, that is knowledge. And the all the materialistic activity or the physico-chemical activities in the world, they get converted into conscious activity. That is the meaning of sentient and insentient. So the realization knowledge, by by this third point, that is the realization knowledge, Babaji is trying to explain that knowledge in uh, human society, which is eternal, which is constant, which is the most evident form of knowledge, which is as it is, which cannot be changed. So it says here in the first bullet that sentient and insentient nature saturated in omnipotence. This is what I have explained before, that whatever is sentient, that is conscious, and insentient, that is unconscious, which is physico-chemical world, that nature is saturated in omnipotence. That is the it is in it is submerged, soaked, and surrounded in omnipotence. And then the infinite sentient and insentient units are saturated in omnipotence. So these units that are sentient and insentient, which are let me speak the Hindi words also for this. It is Jad and Chetan. These words have also come in, these are traditional words, but the meaning here is different. The Jad uh, points out to the physico-chemical world, and the Chaitanya points out to the complete build atom, the complete constitutional atom, uh, which is conscious unit. So that is the infinite. These atoms, these units in existence are infinite. What is the meaning of infinite? Infinite is something that we can count one by one, but it is not worthwhile counting. It cannot, like if we go on counting, that counting will never stop. So that is why it is said that these units are in the form of one, but they are infinite. And they are saturated in omnipotence, omnipresence. This is realization knowledge. And the second bullet is all units saturated in omnipresence. Omnipresence is permeative and transparent. Now, if we see this permeativity and transparency in insentient units, that are the Jad units, we find it in the form of energy. So everything is doing motion in universe. All the physico-chemical world, all the physico-chemical elements in nature are moving. What is the source of the movement? What is the source of the movement? The source of the movement is energy. And what is the source of energy? The source of energy is because they are saturated in omnipotence. That is the permeativity of this omnipresence, which is also a reality and the substance. And it is transparent. So this energy gets transferred from one element to another element. How does it get transferred? It gets transferred in space. Whatever the space we find in between two atoms, in between two bodies, in between two planets, in between two universes, that is omnipresent. Uh, that is the omnipresent substance that is also transparent, and that is why this sharing, this transference of energy takes place. So, and when we see this omnipresence in sentient units, that is the conscious unit or the Jivan atoms, the souls, we see it in the form of knowledge. How I am able to communicate with you all, and how you all are understanding, and how Babaji is communicating to us, and how he is explaining everything. So this is in the form of knowledge. This omnipresence is permeative. That is, whatever I have understood, I have acquired that meaning in my soul. And when I speak it through the word, you grasp those words through the understanding of your knowledge of that word. And that is why knowledge becomes permeative in sentient units. And why it is transparent? Because the knowledge does not change. Only our understanding can be wrong or it can be conflicting. But the actual presence of knowledge in universe, that is the realization knowledge, does not change. The realizational principle, the ultimate truth of universe, that is the sentient and insentient nature saturated in omnipotence, this never changes. And this is the ultimate knowledge that human beings acquire. And through that, we come to know that we are in the coexistence of soul and body. So all units saturated in the omnipresence have forms, attributes, intrinsic nature, and dharma. So whatever is in the form of a single unit, it is surrounded by a boundary. That is, that boundary we call a form. That is roop. In Hindi, it is called roop. And that form is present in all units, or all units are in form. And there are attributes, that is gunas. These attributes are, they they are they signify growth, they signify presence or system, and then they signify uh, calamity or destruction. And then there are that it is, and the fourth point is intrinsic nature, that is swabhav. So every unit, sentient and insentient, is in has swabhav. So it has form, it has attribute, and it has swabhav. What is the meaning of intrinsic nature or swabhav? The actual, what the thing that I have explained, the principle that I have explained before, which is the regularity and balance, the niyantran and santulan in the saturated omnipotence or omnipresence. That is the niyantran, that is the regularity, is swabha. Every action or motion in this universe is regulated. How it is regulated? It is regulated through the laws of universe. And what is the eternal law? The eternal law is that the complete existence is in the form of coexistence. And in this coexistence, every unit has its intrinsic nature, which is in the form of innate orderliness. We are in every unit in itself ordered, and it takes part in universal orderliness. That is the meaning of intrinsic nature or swabha. And every unit also have dharma. As I've explained before, dharma is the principle that points out to the intrinsic, the nature of unit. Dharma is the principle of any unit that cannot be separated from itself. So there is dharma of physico-chemical world, which is existence. There is dharma of plant world, which is nutrition, pushti. And there is dharma of animal world, that is the will to live. And then there is dharma of human order, that is the will to be happy. And the dharma of every progressive order is included in the previous dharma of previous order is included in the progressive order. So all the units saturated in the omnipresence have form, attributes, intrinsic nature, and dharma. And through these four principles, we get to learn about the regularity and the balance and the orderliness of all these units in existence. So all of these units are orderly with inherence and participate in universal ordinate. That is, it is every unit in the universe is a system in itself and it participates in the universal system. And if yes, now we will move on to the fourth point, that is the principle. Now, what is the meaning of principle? I want to add some meaning or the definitions that Babaji has given. So I have roughly translated the definition of the principle, that is the Siddhant. So that which is worth being evident, that is called the principle. The path of destiny, the progress towards destiny or the progress in destiny is called the principle. Principle is something that every unit in this existence follows. And what is that principle? That principle is effort, motion, and result. So we say every unit is in coexistence, is from coexistence, and is for coexistence. That is the meaning of the principle. So it is in a coexistence signifies the effort or the motion. Every unit is in motion and it is doing its work, and that is called effort. Through that effort, it moves forward, it progresses, that is motion. That is, it is from coexistence. So that is gati, the progress. And then there is result, that is for coexistence. So there is result in existence. This is the principle that every unit follows. In Hindi, it is called Shram Gati Parinam, and I have understood in the form of me, se, ke liye. So this principle shows effort, motion, and result in existence. Further, in the chapter, it will be explained in more detail that when there is effort in physico-chemical world, that is the material order, and then there is motion and the result is plant order. When there is effort in plant order, the motion towards progress, there is motion towards progress, and then there is animal order. And when there is effort in animal order, there is progress, and there is, as a result, it is human order or the knowledge order. And you can also see it in the sentient and insentient units, that is the Jad and Chaitanya atoms. So there is effort in the jada. What is the effort? The effort is to become independent. And uh, so we see that there are two types, like it was told in the alternative, that there are two types of atoms. Few are hungry, and few are, they want to give, they are overfull, which we say are radioactive elements. So they want to give out, there there are other elements also that give particles other than radioactive elements. So they share their particles, they give their particles, and there are some that want some particles. So both of these particles, they share, and one takes and one gives. All of this effort is to become stable, and all of this effort points out to a stable atom, that is the soul, that is the complete constitutional atom, that is Jivan Parmanu. So there is effort in material order, or the physico-chemical world, and it shows the progress towards um, towards development, and then there is development into a complete constitutional atom, which is the Jivan atom. This is the principle that every unit in this universe follows, and this is how the progression, development, progression, development, and awakening, progression, awakening happens in universe, or the existence. This can also be explained in human order, that will be given in detail ahead. Then the fifth point is the sermon. What is the meaning of sermon? Sermon is something that the realization information, which is in the form of command, testament, directive, or mandate. So the word Upadesh is translated into sermon. Sermon means what direction that a realized soul is, a realized human being is given, is directing to all human beings. So it is given here: believe what is known, know what is believed. Now we have to understand these words. What is indicated by saying known, and what is indicated by saying believe? Now there are some thoughts or some understanding that we accept, and there are some things, some understanding that we believe. There is something in universe that we believe. Now when we talk about belief, when human beings talk about simple beliefs and faith, there is lack of understanding in it. We say that we feel the presence of something, but we do not know what it is. And sometimes we know something, but we do not believe in it. For example, all human beings believe, mostly human being believes that there is presence of God, but they do not know what God is. That is why all God-centric philosophies have become mysterious. God is still a mystery for us. What actually God is. All of all the discourse relating to God has become mainly anthropomorphic. That is, it is seen in context with human. So there is humans can become God, and then there is omnipresent principle, that is Brahma. So there is these two realities, and Babaji says that uh, we can know what we believe in, and we can believe what we know, believe in what we know. So while I was listening to how he explained this, he explained through the words, and which is, for me, which is a magnificent explanation. He explained it like, we 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 believe in our mother. We know our mother, then we believe in our mother. We believe in her motherly nature. How does this happen? So first we believe that she is our mother, and then we get to know how she is our mother. Mother nurtures a human being. A mother nurtures a human being. In the same way, the omnipresent principle or the omnipresent substance nurtures the entire existence or the entire universe. And this is how we know what we believe in, and we uh, believe what we know. Whatever every human being is born, we are born in a surrounding, we are born in a certain society. First we accept it, and then slowly we get to know it. And if we so if we believe it, then we can know it, and if we know it, then only we will be able to believe it. So believe what is known is something that you accept, but you do not know it, so you can know it. Babaji is saying that you can know it. That is, in a way, he's pointing out to the omnipresent principle and the godly nature that human being can exhibit. And know what is believed is whatever we have known should be evident in our conduct. That is what he means by know what is believed. It should be expressed through our conduct, through our words, through our behavior, through in our relationship, through our understanding. So this is the sermon or the upadesh or the directive that Babaji is giving here. Then there is the sixth point. We move forward to the sixth point, the state of existence. Now we find that existence is in the form of existence. So there is state, and then there is motion, sthiti and gati. So in the first bullet point, he says the dynamic state, nature saturated in the absolute state, omnipotence. This is the state of existence. Existence is, that is the dynamic state, which is in constant motion, constant activity. Being dynamic is to be expressed in various directions. The dynamic state and the nature is saturated in the absolute state, omnipotence. So there is state in existence, there is absolute state, that is omnipotence, and there are dynamic state, that is the sentient and insentient units. And both of these units, sentient and insentient, are both types of these units are saturated in absolute state. So this is the actual state of existence, which can be summed up to in the words eternally present coexistence. That is, existence is in the form of coexistence, and it is eternally present. That means the space, the omnipotent or omnipresent substance is present everywhere, and all the units that are saturated in it, submerged in it, which are surrounded by it, they cannot be separated from it. This state is eternally present. This state, or in this dynamic state and absolute state, in this form, both of these substances are eternally present. So this is the sixth point. So the state is dynamic state, absolute state, and they are in the form of coexistence. Then we move on to the evidence. Now, what is the evidence of the coexistence? So when we talk about evidence, we talk about the epistemology, how anything that we know is evident. So, as we have learned in the alternative, that anything that we know is it the Babaji has questioned, is the apt vakya, that is the words or the thoughts that we read, is that the evidence, or the human tradition or the awakened tradition is that evidence? So when we look at this evidence of knowledge, it comes in the form of awakened human tradition. It comes in the form of the living human tradition or the human conduct. So in the first point, he says realization, behavior, and experiment. Realization itself is the ultimate evidence. The realization knowledge that we have learned before. The saturation of the sentient and insentient beings, their attributes, their form, attributes, and the intrinsic nature and the dharma are intrinsic order, and they are performing in the universal order. That is the ultimate evidence. Evidence itself is the understanding or knowledge. So this is the knowledge that human being gain, and which is evident in human understanding. Understanding itself is manifest. So whatever is manifest in this entire universe, whatever we perceive through our knowledge, through the through our inner powers, inner potentiality of the mana, vritti, chitta, buddhi, atma, we whatever we understand is knowledge, which is gyan. The manifest itself is resolution, work, and behavior. So resolution is the uh, or the understanding of every little phenomena and the answer to all the problems in the universe. If problem actually are not understanding is the problem. Whatever we do not understand becomes a problem for us. So that is why resolution is the answer or the solution of all those problems. So knowledge, evidence itself is the understanding or knowledge. Understanding itself is manifest. Knowledge is manifest, and the manifest itself is resolution, work, and behavior of the the realized human being, the human being that has ultimate, that has understanding or knowledge. Work and behavior itself is evidence. So the work and behavior of the human that has understanding and knowledge is the ultimate evidence. And the evidence itself is awakened tradition. What is awakened tradition? The awakening of human potential, the highest human potential, that is the divine knowledge, the divine potential of human. That is the awakening progression. Awakening, we get to know it in the form of Divya Manav. Awakened tradition itself is coexistence. So awakened, what is the meaning of awakened? Awakened is to realize the self, what we are. We are in the form, we are, the human being is in the form of coexistence of body and soul. In soul, we are the Atma, that is the true self, the eternal self. And the evidence of true and eternal self is in the form of awakened tradition, awakened tradition in human race. That is, in every human race, or every human being in human tradition comes to know that they are, the true eternal self is the self that is that has realization in it, that has understanding in it, that has knowledge in it. And the behavior and the work and the work and behavior of such understanding, under the such human being that have understanding or knowledge is the ultimate evidence. So, um, if we can stop here, if so, Rakesh Acharya.
Yeah. So this is wonderful. I think you have done a fantastic job of doing all the homework, Shevia. So we actually, you see that we are getting familiar with the keywords in the sense in these main elements to get a overall idea what right. So as Shevia actually talked about that there are two realities that am I audible? Is
No, the sound disappeared for a bit, even now.
is something it is saying that internet connection.
You are audible, Bhaiya.
Oh, is it's not audible, is it?
Yes,
अच्छा
you are audible.
ठीक है तो आगे चलते हैं so what I was basically saying was that uh, what we are seeing in these points are we are becoming familiar that are used in the subsequent chapters. So as we talk about this darshan is basically about study of existence and existence of two realities. One is the countable in the nature, and the second is the space, or which has been called the omnipotence or omnipresence, right? And these two realities are there, and existence is actually manifested in the form of coexistence of these two. And so then we talked about things like what does evidence mean? So one of the thing that it comes about that human being is the evidence. Human being is the pramana, right? So instead of being the evidence, it's or uh, some instrument that human being becomes evidence, and
Bhaiya,
their
your voice is
behavior,
now
their
broken.
realization, and their work actually is. So is
Rakesh
it?
Bhaiya,
एक
voice
बार
is breaking. In last two, three sentences, it happened.
Sound is breaking. Bhaiya.
okay, am I audible now? I just changed the network connection.
This looks better.
Yes,
Bhaiya.
it's better now.
Yeah, so basically what I was saying was that in this we are becoming familiar with the keywords that are going to be used in the subsequent chapters like omnipotence, nature, sentient, insentient, realization, behavior, justice, evidence, manifest. So all these words are going to be used in the subsequent chapters, and there they will be defined as well, right? So what I'll do is now that we open the floor for some questions, and because we still have some time, so that we can have some question answer session with Shevia or anyone else who would like to pitch in. Yeah, so maybe Shavia, you can actually unshare the document so that we can have more face time with each other. Yeah. Ji. So anyone has any question? So एक तो इसमें we have I think Pathak ji and सुनीता पाठक जी also over here. तो पाठक जी आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? बिटिया यहाँ पर प्रेजेंट कर रही हूँ, यू आर ऑल वेरी हैप्पी. I don't know whether he's there. Sunita Devi, are you there? I think they were there for some time. Yeah.
मैं हूँ यहाँ पर, सुन
हाँ,
रही हूँ
नमस्ते
बिटिया।
दीदी.
जी नमस्ते जी। शेविया ने प्रेजेंटेशन खुद तैयार किया और जब से गाइडेंस मांगती है तभी हम लोग देते हैं
जी
और मुझे लगता है कि काफी कुछ अच्छे से उसने प्रेजेंट किया है
बिल्कुल
और मुझे लगता है कि और फाइन क्लियरिटी जैसे धीरे धीरे अध्ययन बढ़ता जाता है तो और फाइन क्लियरिटी आती जाती है ना।
बिल्कुल
जैसे
बिल्कुल
वो जो है मध्य दर्शन में जो है नियम ही न्याय और न्याय ही ज्ञान और ज्ञान ही विवेक एवं विज्ञान और विवेक एवं विज्ञान ही समाधान एवं पूर्ण सुख है। ऐसा करके व्यवहार दर्शन में 111 या 12 नंबर के पेज पर दिया हुआ है। तो जब हम सुख को पहचानते हैं तो सर्वतोमुखी समाधान के रूप में पहचानते हैं। तो मुझे लगता था यदि शव्या सर्वतोमुखी समाधान वर्ड को यूज करती तो और भी ज्यादा अच्छा रहता है। ऐसा एक मेरे को उनको सलाह है। बाकी तो
बढ़िया
काफी
दीदी.
अच्छा किया जी भैया।
बहुत धन्यवाद दीदी. So anyone wants to bring up any questions or anything that you would like to discuss today based on the sessions, last two sessions and this one? Okay, so if there is nothing else, then maybe we will close today's session. Unless do I have anything in the chat box? Acha, there is some questions. The sound is breaking. Yeah. Okay. Good. So if there are no questions, then maybe we can close today's session. So once again, thank you, Shevia. बहुत अच्छा आपने present किया. Everything was very nice. So we will actually continue this presentation in the on the next Tuesday, and we'll take it from here. Yeah. So thank you all for joining this session, and see you again on Tuesday.
Thank you so
Namaste.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank
Night.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.